I was so excited, I forgot to press record. Welcome to our show. This is Common Sense, and we're a show which likes to try and bring some sense back into this mad world.
This is just common sense.
Common sense.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Common Sense, a show that hopefully makes some sense of this crazy world we're in. I'm your host, Ian, and our other host, sitting on the red hot seat, is
Juan. Here I am.
Yeah. What's been going on in the world today, Juan?
Well, today, I'm not sure so much today. Well, today,
Yes.
what I did see today was this crazy video of Candace Owens. She's going on about Macron's wife being a man. She's been going on about this for a while. She actually said one time that she would put all her professional credibility at stake if, in fact, Macron's wife was not a man. So she, and there was a 3-year investigation in France, and basically what they're saying is that she passed off herself as if it was her brother. There's this guy who all of a sudden disappeared that was supposedly her brother, and when she turned 30, he disappeared and she appeared like out of nowhere. So
That sounds a bit scary. She appeared out of nowhere. Man, I tell you.
yeah.
I think personally, I just heard this today about it. Maybe I heard about it in the past, but it just kind of went over my head. I never really took it seriously, to be quite honest. And Macron, I mean, this is weird.
Yeah, I think that it is strange. Does it really change anything? It's weird. You know what's weird is that he met her. The story is already weird because it was his teacher. She was his teacher, and supposedly he was 14, and she was, I think, 40 or something. But now it turns out she could be 48 because if it turns out that she is her older brother, as Candace Owens says, then she was actually older. But my question to you is, does it change anything? The fact that he was a man. I mean, it's still a case of pedophilia. I mean, I guess it would be more serious because of the fact that he is a man. But why are they letting a woman get away with this? That's my question. If she is a woman,
I'm not really arguing with her. I got some dark secrets as well. But look. I mean, I don't. It's a hard one. Yeah, no pun intended. No Diddy, whatever. But I mean, okay. You said she's a man.
yeah.
So is it more about she's a man, or more about there's a case for pedophilia? I mean,
the case is there regardless of the fact if she's a man or not, because if he was 14 and she was 40, that's already like pretty weird, right? And
yeah, that's very old.
that's very odd.
I mean, my French teacher must have been about 26.
Right, that's more.
And I was 15. But we never actually done anything, but
Okay.
we did hook up.
Wow. Well, that's doing something, I don't know. What do you mean that's... What's your definition of not doing anything?
No, nothing. I got drunk and I got off with someone else.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's very odd.
That is very odd.
But hold on. When she, he, they
yeah.
was a teacher, was he, she, they, them a male or female?
Right. The story is that she was a female. However, they can't produce any photos of her from before the time she was 30 years old. And not only that, when they presented some photos to disprove it, they actually showed photos of her daughter, and then it was shown that this was, and they were like, oh no, it was a mistake. We didn't. So there's some weird things going on there, you know. Candace explains it pretty well. Like she's all into it, you know. She really is into and she's put all her professional credibility at stake. So I guess it's pretty important at this point.
Why is she going after Macron anyway?
Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of strange. I mean, he's on his way out anyway, and
I mean,
in a way, who cares?
He's a little tyrant. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, little. Now he's gotten rid of Congress, is it, or Parliament? He got rid of it. Yeah, he got rid of Parliament. He's calling it early elections because, I don't know. I think people voted Marine Le Pen's party into the European Parliament, and he had a big loss, so he called for snap elections. But I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. I guess he's on his way out.
I don't know there might be some laws which, you know, I think this is a trend which is happening. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Biden does the same. You know, Rishi Sunak did it recently as well. But if we do go into a state of war, I think it freezes everything in Parliament, and the control stays in control of the existing minister, PM. And I'm wondering if it'd be the same. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think this was something which was mentioned when Trump was running and stuff. So it's a way of holding on to power just before you leave. I mean, you got to finish the war, kind of.
Yeah.
If you start a war, you got to finish the war before you hand over power, kind of thing.
Right.
So if they engage in some kind of existential warfare, like I don't know, Ukraine spills over to Europe.
Yeah.
Because Europe has sent a whole bunch of troops over there.
Troops.
Yeah. Yes. So
you're saying there's French troops on the ground?
They're on the ground
in Ukraine already.
So, and Macron is escalating like crazy with Russia, and you know, and Rishi is being highly provocative as well, and talking about conscripts, and we're probably going to be fighting Russia in the future. And then you got Joe Biden and Lindsey Graham, you know, doing the same kind of thing.
Right.
Anyway, I'm kind of digressing from the main point. But it's just weird that I don't think it's going to make much of an impact anyway, even if it is true.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's more gossip than anything. I mean, who cares? I mean, in that sense. But I don't know. It was what I saw today, Yaspi, what I saw today. What I saw interesting this week, however, was Senator John Kennedy asked FBI Director Wray,
I saw that,
about the Epstein tapes and what was going on and where are those tapes and who is on those tapes and why is nobody in jail. And it was really, really interesting how he put them up against the wall. And of course, Wray being Wray, just danced around and answered absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a kind of protocol of the FBI to say, well, it's an ongoing case and we can't really speak on the case. And this is like, that's their get out of jail kind of argument and delivery. It's kind of like the press secretary. She's always says, well, I can't speak on that. I'm going to have to refer you to the other department. You know, it's oh man, I really don't understand. I had a chat with my friend about this the other day, and he was saying as well, look, they all know that they're holding up the case. Why doesn't the DOJ or the high courts just step in and say, look, give us the information, get on with the job, crack on and blah blah. No one's putting their foot down, and they're just getting away with it. And the problem with the Republicans, they tend to like to play fairly, while the Democrats play unfairly, and they have no morals or scruples about bending rules, lying and stuff like that, as opposed to the Republicans, and they always come out faring the worse in these situations. So the Epstein case, it's a joke. I mean, how long has it been going on for? I think when I was in England, it was just like starting up kind of thing. And
Yeah,
look,
sure.
look where we are, and nothing's really happened. And this is it kind of
Right.
seems to be a trend. Law in America is ridiculous at this moment in time.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe if those tapes exist, I mean, wouldn't they keep them to for blackmail for themselves? You know,
Of course.
I mean,
I personally think that they definitely moving people into position whilst holding on to this tape. They're saying, look, if you don't vote this, you know, I think we might have to, you're going to be the next one and we're going to release the tapes on, you know. Kevin Spacey kind of blew up the other day, innit?
yeah, that's one a friend of Epstein's that they're pushing quite a bit. I saw him do the rounds. People want him back. There's a lot of money invested in that Hollywood actor, I think, or either that or he's some sort of high degree in some secret society, because it makes no sense how they're wanting to get this guy back out there. I don't think it makes too much sense.
I think he, as well as that, he's turned into a kind of super snitch. At the same time, I think he said if he's going down, he's going to take down a lot of people with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounds like that sounds like an explanation, because I mean, I saw him with Pierce Morgan. I saw him in a bunch of other things too, because he was all. I think he was with Lex Friedman. I saw him with Pierce Morgan. He was with some other guy. I mean, like, he's just been doing the rounds, and like, there was a couple of things he did. Like, in Pierce Morgan, he was like, yeah, I don't know who this Epstein fellow was, and then like later in the phrase, he's like, I was really angry at Epstein because he was like, getting girls around Clinton, and that's not a good thing. So it was kind of like, wait a minute, do you know him? Do you not know him? He kind of like stepped on it, but and he's such a good actor. He really is an excellent actor. Like, I think he's an absolutely like genius actor. He's one of the best of our times, and you can see he's still acting like, when he's trying to get out of this, he's like, he talks very slow and he explains and pauses, and it's like, and as good an actor as he is, he doesn't sell it to me. Like, to me, I don't buy it. And plus, he admitted being handsy and groping people. I mean, and who's going around grabbing people's junk, especially when they're in power positions, that you can lose your job if you don't let them grab it.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, I'm not really a Kevin Spacey fan. I liked a few of his films.
You didn't like the House of Cards?
I didn't watch it at all.
That's where I liked him. Yeah.
Was it Magnolia? I can't know. Some other film. I remember a film.
American Beauty.
American Beauty. That's it. American Beauty.
Yeah, those were all right, but I mean, it's kind of a weird film. I liked. Yeah, House of Cards is basically what I was talking about.
No, okay.
Seen that?
Yeah, I never actually got into it, to be quite honest. But he is a person who is got a record of being very gropey. So, and it kind of got. I mean, he got a little bit shamed, and he disappeared off the map for a while. Well, now he's re-emerged and he's making some noise because of the Epstein tapes, or the Epstein files, or the Epstein list.
Yeah, he was in a plane with him. He admitted to being on a plane with him and Clinton and a bunch of girls.
Yeah,
but nothing happened. And he didn't know Epstein. But then he got angry at Epstein for getting these girls around Clinton. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Any of it.
There's no smoke without a fire. But I just think that there's a lot more going on with the Epstein, and it's not coming out. It hasn't come out. It's taken a long time to come out. And there's so much things going on in the world, as well as in America in itself. It's like it's getting swept under a big rug. Very slowly and very calculatedly as well. So,
yep. Yeah, Diddy also. They raided his homes, and nothing's going on. Really with Diddy, there's a bunch of accusations. I mean, Diddy might. I don't think Diddy will go get scot-free out of this. Like, he'll have to take the. Somebody will have to take the bullet, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Diddy. But those are another bunch of tapes we're never going to get to see. You know what I mean? Like I don't think any of those are coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just, it seems like if you're of the elite or Hollywood or the, you know, of that kind of ilk,
Right.
you know,
Fed informant too.
yeah, the actual process takes so long to be prosecuted. We take the guy who shot the woman in that film,
Oh, Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
He's still walking around.
Right. What is going on with that? Yeah.
And sure, if
I mean, yeah, I think he went to trial and but they appealed, like he won the first round, Alec Baldwin. And then, but now they appealed and I think he's going to go back in there. But I mean, there's no reason why he should have won, you know, it's kind of weird. He was a producer in the film, which gives him, you know, I mean, if he was an actor, if he was just an actor, you could be like, well, he should have not pointed the gun. He should have like checked it. He should have done a bunch of things, but you can't put the blame on the actor because there's also a weapons handler and there's a producer. I mean, in the end, yes, they're all guilty of it, but the highest, I think, responsibility falls on the producer of a film because that's the guy who's putting everything together. And he was one of the producers, Alec Baldwin. And he's the guy who says, well, we got money for this, we got money for that, hire this person, hire that person, this person is, you know, and they hired some 24-year-old, you know, they were paying her half price, and, you know, and this didn't go, you know, you don't cut costs on gun handling, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I just brought that up because this kind of goes in line with all these celebrities getting caught doing bad things, and the processing of the law in America seems to be two-tiered.
Oh, yeah.
And now we have the pinnacle of that, where we have someone like Donald Trump having his trial,
Right.
and losing it,
Yeah.
and then we have also Alec Jones
Yeah, Alex Jones, yeah.
as well, has lost these
Ridiculous. Yeah,
Was it-
trials.
is it
Yeah. I mean, for over $1 billion.
Trillion.
They've
two
No,
point
yeah.
something trillion.
No, billion.
Is
But
it?
still, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, it's the same. But he's not going to be able to pay it either way. Doesn't make a difference.
It's a trillion, billion.
Right.
It's-
But what's weird about that case is like, you know, he had the opinion that the Sandy Hook, you know, massacre was, you know, something that was a false flag, and it was a reenactment of sorts, and these were, you know, crisis actors. And I think you can have an opinion. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Okay, let's say there was he went on television. He said this is for sure a fact, and they sued him for defamation. Even if that's true, the fact that they went for $1 billion. I mean, that's just the number itself shows you that this isn't right.
Look, I mean, how much people have said that, you know, the JFK's shooting wasn't, you know, was done by someone else or the government or blah, 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 blah. And, you know, Oliver Stone's made a whole movie about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, is he going to go to jail for that? You know, for disputing the Kennedy family's, whole legacy of what happened to him and stuff like that. I mean, everybody has an opinion on certain things, whether it's, especially very public events, whether they are tragic or not tragic or so on.
Right, but it seems like some things you can't talk about, and some things are still taboo. And I think the biggest one of all, if we see what happened to Brianna Joy, also last week, and to Candace Owens before that, is Israel. You cannot talk about Israel without suffering consequences. I don't think a company should be obligated to hire you if you have a different opinion. That's true, but it really is amazing, like how taboo the subject is, and how AIPAC has really taken over a lot of the political spectrum of the USA.
Well, it's controlled by the media. You know, the message is in the medium, and the medium is the message.
Yeah.
And basically, we consume so much, and that's how our lives are kind of guided these days. I think they made the best maneuver by controlling the media.
Right.
And this is post Goebbels time, if we're talking about even that era.
Yeah.
You know, so it's off limits. You cannot talk about Israel. It's very interesting because it's a divide within Israel. You have the Orthodox, and then you have the
Yeah, that's true.
you will call the Zionists, the people
Right.
who are not so religious and stuff. And there's a clash, and it seems like one sect is stronger than the other and has a lot more influence than the other. And
Yeah, Patrick Bet David said some things about, Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire, and just
what happened to him?
yeah, he was just saying how just yeah, how they basically took out Candace, and he was arguing with Konstantin Kisin, and
Yes.
Kisin was,
Well, they were kind of saying, why didn't he hire her as well? Because
right.
he put an offer out to Tucker Carlson,
Right.
and a couple of other people, even Constantine, he would like to hire. He sees him as talent, and he sees Candice as the same kind of pull, and in some cases, Candice has a lot more
Even
influence
more. Yeah.
than Tucker Carlson. But why didn't he hire her is the question. Maybe he wants to see her develop and grow more. They have a close friendship, as well as that they're both Christians, very strong faith Christians. So that kind of gives them another bond, but so's Tucker as well, I suspect. But I think he wants to see her develop because she's just been released. But there's another thing which is being mentioned, is that the Daily Wire has some kind of clause that you can't, work with another media company for a certain amount of times within the contract. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but we would have to go and look at that.
Right.
Stephen Cowder's.
He's mentioned that.
He mentioned the Daily Wire's contracts were very unfair and tried to control everything of
anything you say, of your exposition, right?
Yeah, and even your product, your merchandise, and everything, down to the wire, even though you've done the groundwork already. So that's why he exposed it and said it's a joke. It's like slavery, literally. So, and it's interesting because Candice did go at Stephen for that. She said she was in disagreement with him, but she was under the kibosh. She was working for them at that time, so she would have to play defense. It's a tricky situation, but what it does do, this whole Israel-Palestine situation, it exposes what sides people and what biases people are on. Whether you're pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, it doesn't really matter, because it's more about morality, and if the unfairness of killing innocent people is not good on either side.
Sure.
And I think some people are just extremely biased.
Yeah.
Due to their religions sometimes, and sometimes it's just a national identity kind of thing, and they're just extremely biased. I think.
Right. Some people, though, are kind of like, I think that's the thing. The U.S. government is really biased towards Israel, because you see a guy like Thomas Massey now that came out and spoke with Tucker, and he was saying how everybody had an AIPAC guy, and the thing is, he was like, but look, I'm not anti-Israel. I'm also not pro-Palestine. But the thing is, I don't want to be sending them money and arms, and I don't want them to get me involved, in their problems in a way. Of anybody else's problems? He's he doesn't want to send money to Ukraine either. He doesn't want to send money anywhere.
Yeah. Well, my conspiracy light bulb goes off now, and it seems like we go all the way back to Epstein.
Sure.
I
mean, yeah, but I'm sure some of them.
Mossad and Epstein, that it's the way of controlling countries, literally.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. And it's well known that honey traps and all kind of traps, I'm sure, are set up by these guys. So yeah, I saw that. Then another interesting thing I saw this week was this Polish. I think he's going to be the European Parliament now, because he's this Polish politician he's a guy who's speaking of the Jews. Actually, he grabbed a fire extinguisher and turned off the menorah. Yeah. He blew it away with a fire extinguisher, and now he gets to go to the European Parliament. So there's going to be quite a shift, I think, in the European Parliament. I think we're going to get more and more of these nationalistic characters there. People are kind of tired.
Yeah, I think I mean, some people use the word disruptors, and some people will use the words like citizenization or something like that. I can't remember the correct term. But yeah, it's a form of nationalism growing right across Europe, who want their own identity. And this Polish chap,
yeah,
when he actually did this, and he spoke afterwards, he said that he doesn't want Poland to be being held by Israel or America or the EU. They want Poland to be Poland, and I think he's from a Jewish background as well. There's a lot of Jewish people in Poland as well, but their identity, they want it to be their national identity to be Polish. They don't want it, not Russian or any of the others. So I think it's a fair argument what he's proposing. And Poland's quite strict on their immigration laws as well. They don't let anybody and everybody in. They were turning people away in the Ukraine war as well.
Right, and the EU was not happy about that.
They weren't happy about that, no.
Right.
A bit like Hungary. They have the kind of same stance.
Did you hear the Prime Minister of Albania, what he said to Anthony Blinken? I think it was yesterday.
No, I didn't. I didn't hear it, but
he basically, like, with him right next to him, he goes, well, there's three great devils in the world.
Yes.
The Americans, and he goes like this, and he actually points.
Three evils.
Yeah, three. Did you see it?
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah. Did you see it? He's like three evils. He's like the Americans, and he's like like that guy from TikTok, the Cami. He's like. He's like
over here we have.
He's like there are three evils: the Americans, the Soviet Russians, and the Israeli Zionists. And it was hardcore. Like him saying, and Blinken's face is like.
Yeah.
It was quite funny, actually.
The truth hurts. I don't think it will last very long. They're gonna.
No, we're gonna give him some democracy and freedom coming his way.
Yeah, he's gonna. So there was what else? What has been going on?
What have you been seeing?
Well, for me, I've been watching a lot of the British. What's been going on in England? There's been so much, upheaval over there.
Right. What elections are coming up? What are these elections?
National general election.
Okay.
And this was called by the current Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Not a very popular person. Stabbed his way to leadership.
He's not a man of the people.
He wasn't voted in.
Right.
And he stabbed everybody in their back in his actual government in his party in order to get to the position. It's from a extremely wealthy background. I'm talking about extremely wealthy. He's richer than the King of England.
Wow.
That kind of wealth. This is almost like a game for him.
Billionaire, yeah.
Yeah, this is like a super game for him. And they're saying that he's not quite patriotic because
Right.
quite recently there was the D-Day.
Celebrations of in Normandy, yeah.
Yes, as we saw, Joe Biden had to run off very quickly to get to the toilet. Never made it.
Oh, God.
So Macron had to step up and to do the handshaking, you know. And
Allegedly.
allegedly, it's all allegedly.
Yeah.
And Rishi never really turned up. He had other engagements. And
Rishi took off early, right?
very early. So
And then Nigel let him have it for it.
Well-
Of course, he wasn't going to turn down that opportunity.
it wasn't just Nigel, it was the whole country. But Nigel
Yeah, the whole
just
country.
put some seasoning on it, some salt and pepper,
Right.
and made it more spicy. And it literally said, you know, he doesn't think he's a patriotic person because these veterans will not be here for the next D-Day. This will be the last ever. These people gave their lives so we can have what we have now in the Great Britain. And so, yeah, and all they wanted to do is shake the hands of the Prime Minister. They never got a chance to do that.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I think
And
I think that was quite. I do think I think he probably is a patriot. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's a billionaire. But I do think he has some love for England. But I do think he's absolutely tone deaf. I think he's living in he's too rich and he doesn't know what the hell is like the right thing to do. Because
Rishi is super detached. And,
Yeah.
they had to, when they do like, he does pieces to camera to connect to the people and stuff like that. They get him in a pub with a pint,
oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
with his shirt off.
Something he's never done in his life.
Not his shirt off, his jacket off.
Yeah.
Well, he's got his tailored shirt on, from Moss Bros, wherever. But the thing is, you can see he's just detached,
Right.
because he hasn't got a clue. And it rigs it.
He's been living in a bubble. You can tell.
He's in a super bubble, and the taxes, the inflations have gone up, and they say, "Oh, we're going to bring down the taxes," and it's been higher than it's ever been for God knows how many years. So, a lot of people are very upset with that.
Yeah.
They're upset with immigration laws. How many immigrants are coming in, and the Tories said that they're going to send them to.
So more immigrants have been coming in since.
Of course.
But his speech was that he was going to put an end to it. And,
They say a lot of things,
Right.
And a lot of things never really come to
it's
fruition.
easy to say them, right?
Yeah, this is something the Tories are infamous for. So we have a few parties. I mean, the Lib Dems are nowhere to be seen anymore because they messed up because they promised the students a rebate, or they don't have to pay their student loans, but they reneged on that, so they're out of the picture, literally. Then you got Labour with Keir Starmer, who is a yes man for the WEF and
Right.
every eco.
All the global mafia.
Exactly. So if you ask him what's a woman, he won't be able to explain what a woman is. And
He'll fall over if you ask him that.
it's a strange situation because the Labour Party is a very left-wing party, but he's almost supporting the whole Israel thing, where most of his cabinets are like socialists and pro-Palestine, Hamas
Wow.
type of people.
Right.
So there's a power struggle there. So it's weird. They're in the centre. A lot of them are in the centre of not even the right. It's like centre left. So and the conservative of moved more central as well. So they're not as right wing as they were before, more conservative as they were before, and then you have the Reform Party, which is the baby or the darling,
The new.
yes, of Nigel Farage. Now Nigel Farage has done Brexit, and he done a runner. A lot of people were very upset with that because he was leading the Brexit party,
Right.
and
He kind of washed his hands and took
you-
off.
Same with UKIP. He had to let go of UKIP because there was too much far right people infiltrating and stuff, and it was putting a slur on him, and he wanted to distance himself from these people. But these people are the ordinary people, and majority of people which want England back to how it is. So he's kind of some of his own people, and then he's trying to snuggle up more to be mainstream with the Conservative Party to a point where the Conservative Party wanted him in.
Yeah.
The only reason why Conservative won last time because he stepped aside for the Conservative Party. This time, they did kind of ask him, would you join the Conservative Party, try and grab some of these people?
Oh, yeah?
And first he said he's not running, he doesn't want to be involved in politics, and he got so guilty because everyone was like, dude, you done a runner last time, you left us on a lurch, hanging.
Right, you're retiring now.
Yeah, and you're retiring, and the country's failed because of your bloody Brexit. Everybody's having Brexit remorse. But he changed his mind. He said he's going to lead the country because he initially thought, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything within 6 weeks, and win an election or get any seats. But he must have had a change of heart because he was going to go to America, but America had the Trump trials and Trump got found guilty. So, maybe he said, okay, maybe I come back. No, not really. But the fact that the elections were like 6 weeks, he said he never had enough time to do it. So, but it seems like he's come to a conclusion that, well, maybe more time is better because there was a big march prior to this announcement by someone called Tommy Robinson, who's...
Oh, yeah, sure.
He's supposedly meant to be very far right, but he's not.
Not really.
Far right.
No.
He's a nationalist. And basically there was a thousands of people came to this event and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he saw that there was a way to rally some other people.
Right. He knows that the people are out there.
So with that group and Reform...
Now, I know Nigel doesn't like Tommy too much because he left UKIP basically because Tommy went in. So
yeah, because of the whole, football hooligan, whatever. He didn't want to have that kind of, public image. It was a kind of a slur. But what he's got to realise, you can't shun these people. They are part of the fabric of England.
Oh, right, yeah.
And whether they're hooligan...
Now, you see him with a realistic chance, though, Nigel?
Realistic chance. I mean, since then, and now talks of, and him and Tommy actually kind of getting a bit closer.
Okay.
The polls have totally changed because they were going to be the party which will oppose Labour. That means Labour will get in, whatever the weather.
Right.
Or you need someone strong to oppose them. Conservatives will not.
They're doing so badly, they're not even going to...
But the Conservatives, they're quite disillusioned, and they don't realise that Farage is probably going to take some Conservatives with him because they hate Rishi, and the way the legacy what they've left so far is terrible. So I think they're going to lose a lot of the Conservatives, and they're going to swing over. Some will go to Labour. No, actually, I don't think they will go to Labour, but a lot will go to the Reform Party.
Yeah.
If the Reform Party can seem not so very right wing and more rational and stuff like that, I think they'll have an even bigger chance. And right now, what they're saying in the news is that the Reform Party have overtaken the Conservative Party.
So they're the second...
Yeah, so they're already... And the newspapers are literally saying Nigel is now the leader of the new Conservative Party.
Wow.
So it's moving very fast.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. And if he wins, whew, wow.
That's going to be a shake-up.
Yeah. I mean, people are fed up. And they, especially with the way we tiptoe around certain religious groups which control
Sure.
a big faction of the of England in within the infrastructure. They control the police,
Yeah.
and so forth. And the British people are not. They're just getting penalised left, right, centre. So
Now, you think even if he does make it in, you think it's actually going to make a change? Because I see with a lot of these politicians, people are like, "Oh yeah, when he comes in, it's gonna shake up things and whatever." Like they said it about Trump, they said it about Boris Johnson, and then they go in and you're like, "Well,
I'm with you on that. I don't trust any politicians, to be quite honest. I think most of them, they're all in it for themselves, and they're all about their own public image.
right?" And maybe they promise more than reality.
They protect their public image more than they will protect the people. It's very rare for some politician to be protecting the people and be right at the top and holding the helm. You reach the top, you got to play ball, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how much of a disruptor you are, how
Yeah, you can be all
you will be playing ball.
right.
And that's what happens all the time. It's a global world. There's only a few people who are very strong in that means, and those people are classed as dictators. So it's very impossible to not be corrupted by absolute power.
Right. Yeah, because like for instance Trump, saying that he was going to pardon Snowden and
Jail
and Assange and
Julian, yeah.
then he was going to lock up Hillary, he was going to build a wall. I mean, all these things, and then you hear them again, and people are like, "Oh yeah, this time around it's going to happen." It's like, when are people going to realize it's all just a bunch of hot air, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Rishi, with the immigrants as well, he's going to end it and blah blah blah, and nothing. And Boris Johnson also, he's like, we're going to make it happen, and I don't know, I guess it's like maybe the systems can't be changed.
Well, they tend to have a bigger and better carrot for us all the time.
Yeah.
Yours painted gold.
Right.
We got a few diamonds on these ones.
Yeah.
Go!
We keep believing it. People keep like buying into the hope and the
Yes, keep hope alive.
yeah.
Even Obama.
Right. Well, that's like the best one of those, like the biggest case of all that. Yeah.
I mean, we're a sucker, and there's one born every minute. They
Right.
say. So I mean, I personally, I think after COVID, if people have not woken up yet
Right.
and realized the government don't give a shit
Yeah.
about you, you're destined to repeat what
Yeah.
happened in the future.
Hmm.
It's a loop. So, it doesn't matter if Nigel gets in, because, like you said, they say they get in and then they don't do it.
Right.
You could say that Nigel got in and he done a runner. Never forget it. Done a runner.
Right.
And rather than him, he led us to the door and he ran off. Yeah.
Exactly.
And England needed someone like Nigel at that time more than ever. And because he bailed, this is where we are. He was part of the problem.
Hmm.
So, and personally, I was like, yeah, Brexit, maybe we take control of our powers and stuff like
Sure,
that.
yeah.
I thought that's fair, makes
Yeah.
sense. Why should we, bow to Europe for everything we want to do?
Right. Older.
But when it happened and the consequences of everything going, well, they never made new deals. They didn't solidify anything with America,
Like they said they would. Right.
Yeah. We thought Boris and Donald would have got on like a house on fire. Boris turned into a prick and crashed the deals, crashed the whole country. He just crashed everything.
Yeah.
It made no sense, but the reason why it made no sense because there's a plan, and we don't know the sense of the plan. So
Yeah, COVID plus Brexit wasn't the best. The best
it was crushing.
combination. Yeah.
If you kept the country open and we've done herd immunity, then we would have survived and we would have been all right now. But we never went that way, and here we are. So Nigel had his chance, Boris had his chance. The other 5 PMs had their chances, you know.
Yeah, right. So they have a revolving door, in Parliament at this point.
Yeah, it's a joke, and I don't know. I'm looking at Argentina as well. Argentina with Milei, he's promising all this stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, I think he's like the champion. He's like the champion smoke blower of the world. He's probably like the biggest of all. Like, he's absolutely larger than life. But the reality here on the ground in Argentina,
Yes, reality
has not been great. I heard inflation went down quite a bit this month, but it went so much the past few months that really it's meaningless. Some people I heard some people on Twitter saying like, well, he had 300% inflation, and this last month it was 4.5 or something. But his inflation went up, and my taxes went up, and I'm still not buying the whole Milei thing yet. I paid for a computer, and I paid $1,000 more for it than I would have if I was in Chile, which is right here, or Uruguay. People are still going over the border to buy electronics and whatever, because they don't have they have
lower.
Yeah, they have actually. Chile has free trade with. They're part of a free trade agreement with the U.S. So
okay, so
yeah, it's just same price, and then here, it's just ridiculous. It's 50% more. And a bunch of other things too. That he said he was a libertarian. He went back on some marijuana laws. He's really not the liberal libertarian guy he says.
He's a bullshitter. I don't think he's a libertarian. I don't think he's a libertarian. I don't believe much of what he says. And on the ground, like you said, people are feeling it in a different way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking good. And he's expecting to make great changes within, I guess, 2 years. I don't think people will be able to last 2 years of this kind of economy.
Yeah, no.
It's something will pop and crack in this country before.
Yeah, it's already happened. Yeah, in the north, there was a police strike.
Strike.
Yeah, it's starting to crack at the on the undersides and at the seams. I mean, it's starting to.
Interestingly enough, I was talking to a taxi driver, and I was speaking to him about his job, and he just done what's it called, Uber, was it Uber? No, Cabify.
Okay.
And he was telling me that he worked for a steel company. I actually recorded some of the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did. Right. Well, let me see if I can find it. Be quiet. Oh, here we go. So I caught some of it because it was so interesting. I said, let me record some of it.
That's cool.
Let's see if I can play this.
Play Ghost of Life. Work alone in custom brokers con clientes buscando importaciones. Hago importaciones de barbecue.
Yes.
Parrillas.
Parrillas, sí.
From Chile.
Okay.
Estoy comenzando recién.
So, like you were saying, it's probably better. So, what he was saying is that he worked for a couple of brokers which got steel, and they made Parrillas from Chile. And like you were saying, from everybody they got to deal with Chile, innit? So it probably was getting it cheaper there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what happened to him is, let me see if I can get some. Sorry about the sound and the music and stuff.
And why Millet cut? Why did he cut? Why did he cut it? Millet.
Milei,
Yeah, why?
because he said the first day of president,
Yeah.
no cash
Oh,
for everything.
oh yes. There's no money.
Yes, no cash, no money.
So basically, the company he worked for was doing very well.
Yeah.
We were making loads of money selling Parisias. That's like barbecue things for Argentine people. So excuse the sound because obviously he had some music playing and the window was open and everything. But basically, he just said the company got closed and shut down instantly. So
Right.
he went from being a broker
Yeah.
to driving Cabify. It's like Uber actually in Uber in
Right.
for Argentina.
Yeah, I've heard quite a few of those cases, like.
And he was pissed. He was like, "Fuck me,
Honestly, he's not going to be happy.
And it's the first day on his job doing the Cabify as well.
Oh, you got him on his first day. That was his
Yeah.
first day, too.
We was having a little conversation.
He was ranting.
Yes, he was running. So a lot of people have been affected like that, where they were working, and
Yeah.
and then the next thing, no job, just like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a country that still has 50% of people living below the poverty line. So, I mean, I had a friend, who, I mean, a lot of it had to do also with the previous governments and the COVID.
Yeah,
But yeah, I had a friend who had, a gym and he lost everything, and he ended up with the Stairmaster in his living room, like when I went to visit, and and the elliptical machine, and then I had another friend too. He had a restaurant and lost his restaurant, after that, and hasn't been able to pick up since then. I mean, I believe in giving politicians the benefit of the doubt and time. In fact, I think you can only think if a politician was any good, usually after he left office, you realize what he's done, what happened. Yeah, because you got to give him a little bit of time. But this guy, I mean, so far the laws aren't changing the way I imagined them, that he himself had advertised on Twitter so adamantly. Just because he says, these, fucking communists or something, okay, that's
bullshit.
not enough.
No, I mean, I don't even believe that bullshit. I mean, him calling fucking China communist and not wanting to do with China is stupid.
Right.
Period. It's just ridiculous. So
Not smart.
not smart. But I don't believe he believes that as well.
Right.
He may shout it out loud, but he's probably doing business with the Chinese.
He probably is.
Yeah. But it sounds good because that's what the people want to hear.
Sure, yeah.
People want to see him waving a chainsaw around saying he's going to cut all this and that.
Yeah, he's a major populist. I mean, it doesn't get more populist than Millet, basically.
Well, signs of the time, eh? Signs of the time.
Signs of the times. Yeah, absolutely. He's like the personification of our times, like of a leader of our times. Yeah, he went to Spain recently, and he told... while in Spain, he was like, "Oh yeah, the president's wife is corrupt, and just things that are, you're the leader of a country. You got to think of the consequences. Or it's not a smart thing to do. Even if the Spanish guy is kind of like hardcore leftist. And recently, speaking of let's go to the Spain guy, the Pedro Sanchez, this guy, I just heard today, he's put out a law that says that to combat misinformation, he's only going to allow serious outlets to say the news. Like, he won't be able to say, not anyone. It won't be just anybody saying the news anymore. Yeah, well, I mean, he said he would crack down on that. I don't know what he means, because what's he going to do? He's going to illegalize everything, because I mean you can get different opinions on X, you can get opinions on YouTube, on Rumble. What's he gonna do? It's gonna be like China. Is that what he wants to do? It was kind of a crazy thing I heard today, and actually Milei retweeted it saying like, yeah, see this guy, he's a whatever. But I don't know, dude. I think you got to be a little bit more diplomatic. I don't think they took their Spain got the ambassador out of here after that happened, and it's like, we do a lot of business with these Spanish.
This is just common sense.
So I'm going to close out the show, and that was our show, Common Sense. Me, Ian, and
Juan.
And I hope to join you next time on our show.
Common Sense.